Hello class, today we're going to be learning about triangles. We're going to be using our prior lesson knowledge of angles to help us define the different types of triangles there are. There are two different ways you can go over triangles and identify them. You can identify triangles by their sides and you can identify triangles by their angles. As a review, we are going to watch a video from our lesson from yesterday about angles. As always, you can stand up and dance. Just make sure you have enough room so your wiggling arms don't hit your neighbor, okay? All right, everyone stand up and get ready.
Between 0 and 90, an angle is a cube. This angle's small, skinny, and kinda cute. It looks like a V on the top of a Y. And the angles that you see in feet are applied. Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember them with ease. See, when an angle measures 90, do we call it right? You can tell this angle just by sight. It looks like an L on the corner of a square. You're looking at it when you're walking up the stairs. Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember them with ease. From 90 to 180, an angle is obtuse. This angle's kinda fat, it's got a big caboose. Like the hands on the clock when it's quarter to 2, or the antlers on the head of a full-grown moose. Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember them with ease.
To measure an angle's degrees with a protractor. Place the vertex at the hole in the center. Line up one way and 0 on the protractor. Remember that the 0 can be on top of wonder. Count up to where the other way points at the number. That will be the angle's measure.
Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember them with ease.
Good job, class. I hope that all gave us a good review of our lesson from yesterday and we all remember what our angles are. Now we're going to go over our different types of triangles. Alright, like I said before, there are two ways to identify your triangles. You can identify them by their sides. Oh, that should have an S on there. Let's fix that. There we go. And then you can also identify them by their angles. They should have an S as well, because triangles have 3 different angles. There's 1, 2, and 3, as well as sides. You have 1, 2, and 3 sides. Okay? This little, our help chart here that I will pass out in a moment has our by sides and our by angles. It also gives us the definitions. We're going to go over those now before I hand that out, so that way we can use our thinking caps, okay? Our first triangle here has 3 little marks on here. These 3 marks lets us know that the triangle sides are all the same. This one's the same as this one, and this side's the same as this side. So a triangle with 1, 2, 3 equal sides is called an equilateral triangle. And we're going to write that up there so that way we can see the word. U-I-L-A-T-E-R-A-L. Equilateral triangle. Alright, this next one, as you can see, it has 1, 2 with the same tick marks, and then the third side is a little bit different. It has 2 tick marks. So it has 2 sides that are equal and 1 side that is different. Now my triangle is a little wonky because I'm not an artist, but you get the idea. That's why we put the tick marks on there, so that way we can identify that the sides are equal or not, even if we draw it a little bit off. So a triangle with 2 sides equal and 1 side different is called an isosceles triangle. I know these are some silly words, aren't they? Let's try to remember to keep our thinking caps on, okay? Let's not play around too much. Isosceles. It looks kind of funny too. Don't worry about spelling it perfectly right now. We'll work on that later, okay? Our next triangle, it has 1, 2, 3 different tick marks on it. So that means each side is different. Each side is unique. So a triangle that has no equal sides is called a scalene triangle. I'll write this one to the side so everyone can see it. All right. So what is the first one called, class, that has 3 equal sides? An equilateral triangle. Good job. All right, our second one. It has 2 sides that are the same and 1 side that's different. So a triangle with 2 equal sides is called an isosceles triangle. That's right. All right, remember to raise your hands, okay? The next triangle, it has 1, 2, 3 different sides. What kind of triangle is that called? Yes, Jody? It's called a scalene triangle. Good job. All right, let's move on to our triangles that we identify by the different angles. Remember our angles, the different measurements and the different names of those, okay? Those names are going to come in handy when we're identifying our triangles, okay? So we're going to look at our triangles. They have 3 angles in them, all right? Do you know what kind of angles these are? Let's look at one at a time. What kind of angle did I circle there? Yes, Billy? That's an acute angle? Good job. So, can we guess what kind of triangle this might be? Yes, Sarah? An acute triangle. Good job. And we have to look at all of our other angles as well to make sure that there's no tricks in there, okay? Let's look at the next angle. Is that an acute angle as well? Good job, it is. And then our third angle we have to check as well, okay? We can't leave any angles out. That's an acute angle as well. Good job. So we're going to call this an acute triangle. Okay. Good job. Our next one here, it has 3 angles as well because it's a triangle. Now we're going to start at the top angle and look at it. What kind of angle is that, Sarah? That's an acute angle as well? Yes, that is. We'll write an A beside it so we can remember, okay? All right, our next angle here, let's circle it and take a look at it. Yes, John, that's an acute angle as well. It seems to be an acute triangle, doesn't it? But there's one more angle left that we have to look at, okay? Remember, we can't leave any angles out. Our last angle right here, what does that look like? Yes, RJ? That's a right triangle. Remember, our right triangles, we draw a little square in it so we know it's 90 degrees. So if it has 2 acute angles, but the last one is not acute, that means it's not an acute angle, it's a right angle. We always go by the largest angle the triangle has to name it. So this triangle would be named what? Yes, Jody? That would be a right triangle. Good job. All right, we have one more here. Okay, don't yell out. We have to give everyone a chance, okay? All right, let's look at this angle right here. RJ, what kind of angle is that? That's an acute angle as well? Good. We'll write our little A so that way we can remember that's an acute angle. All right, let's look at this angle right here. Yes, Jody? That's an acute angle as well right here. We'll write another little A so we can remember that's an acute angle. All right. Remember, we have our third angle. We cannot let our third angle feel left out. What kind of angle is that? That's an obtuse angle. Right there. So that's an obtuse. So if it has an obtuse angle in it, what kind of triangle would we call that? Good job, Billy. An obtuse triangle. All right, good job. Now we're going to have a worksheet. We're going to get into our buddy pairs and we're going to work on this. We have one sheet and there's one part for each of you to do. You'll cut it in half so that way you each can do your own labeling. We're going to take these shapes and we're going to label what kind of triangles they are. Remember to look at all 3 angles and look at their sides and try and determine what kind of triangle it is. You may use your protractor and rulers to help you with this assignment. Okay? The first thing we'll do is we'll go through and we'll look at the sides and we'll put our little tick marks on there. Remember, if it's equal, you'll put all the same. If they're different lengths, you'll put different tick marks on them. Okay? After you're done labeling them, you'll go through and you'll look at the angles. You'll circle the angles and write what letter A for acute. You'll write your little square for a right triangle, or you'll write your O for obtuse, so that way we know what kind of angle you have on the triangles. Then you will label it by the sides, the name, equilateral, isosceles, or scaling. And you'll also label it by the angles, acute, right, or obtuse. Okay? Once you've completed that, you'll then notice that there's some shapes that are not triangles. You're going to take those shapes and draw a line through them to try and make triangles out of those shapes. Once you've made those shapes into triangles, you'll also label those triangles, telling me what kind they are by their angles and by their sides as well. Okay? Then the next thing you're going to do, I know it's a lot, class, but it seems like a lot, but it's not. It's listed all right here. Once you get it, it'll go by really quick, okay? Once you're done labeling, you get to cut them out. Yes, some fun stuff now. We get to do a little bit of crafting. You'll cut out the shapes on the lines that are already on the paper, not the ones you draw. That's very, very important, okay? Do not cut on the lines that you have drawn. You'll cut out the lines that are printed on your paper already. Once you have those cut out, you'll put your names on the back of your shapes, so that way we can save them for later. Once you've done that, you'll get to take these shapes, and it's a puzzle. You'll get to use them and turn them into one big triangle. So you'll have to use your thinking caps for that. Now remember, our scissors are very sharp and pointy. We do not run with them. We sit in our seats and they stay pointed down while we're walking with them, if we're walking, okay? We don't want to lose our license for scissors, right? All right. So we'll pass those out. We'll give you a few minutes to work on that. Remember, don't play. Don't rush through it either. Take your time, and you may help each other. You're working with your buddy partners, okay? All right. So we'll get to work on that. While Billy's passing those out, I'll explain your homework sheet here. We have a few triangles on here. And again, you'll take this home. There's instructions at the top. It says color and label each triangle according to the directions. So you'll take that home. That'll be in your homework folders. And you'll complete that and bring it back tomorrow. All right. While you're working on your tangrams shapes, trying to make them into triangles, we'll now watch a video. If you have completed your tangrams, you may stand up and dance. This song is about our triangles. All right, get ready, class. class. Now remember to get your planner signed by your parents tonight and do your triangles homework, okay? I hope you all had fun with your triangles and tangrams worksheet. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening.